Hello, I'm Adrian and it's Christmas special time once again. In previous years I've looked at acoustic pieces by John Fahey. I've done a couple of jazz chord melodies. Last year I think it was some sensitive balladry from Sufjan Stevens. This year I've gone for a bit of 60s twang. This is Sleigh Ride by the Ventures, taken from the great Ventures Christmas album, which I thoroughly recommend to you. Really good fun piece to play, quite an easy piece to play. I think there may be a couple of slightly tricky licks in there, but for the most part I think it's quite an approachable piece. Hope you have some fun learning how to play it. Let's do it. So we're kicking things off with a bit of rhythm guitar. And some of you might recognise that as a reference to Walk Don't Run, one of the Ventures' biggest hits. That starts off in exactly the same way, and just playing this as bar chords really. So A, G, F, E, and again, and then the lead guitar kicks in with this little scale run. And most of this piece is actually in the key of C, and this scale run is just a C major scale, except we're starting on the fifth, we're starting on G, so just going up the C major scale. From there we've got G, A, B, C, D, E, F, and then we hit the G. Playing all of this, most of this piece actually with downstrokes of the pick, and rhythmically this scale run comes in on the and of 1, so it's 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Then we're into the main theme of the piece, the all of this really based around a C major kind of chord shape. I think for this section the rhythm guitar is playing a kind of 1-6-2-5 progression. So C, A minor, D minor, G. And over the top of that, as I said, we've got this melody. And I'll just quickly take you through this. I'm not going to take you through every single note in this whole piece. As usual, I'm going to be putting the music and the tab to this up on my website completely free, so check that out if you need some more help with the details of this. But the basic melody here, we've got kind of G, A, G, E, C, and then D, E, D, C, A, and then we're hitting this kind of C major chord shape, but I've got the G note in the bass, so I've got 3rd fret, and then 3rd fret, and then 2nd fret on the lowest 3 strings. And of course it's a Ventures track, so I'm going to be using my vibrato arm for quite a lot of this. So when you hit that chord, just give your whammy bar a bit of a wiggle. And the other thing to bear in mind with this, I think if you're picking with quite aggressive downstrokes, sometimes you're going to hit some double stops. I think particularly on that first bit there, if you're holding down the 1st fret C note on the B string, you can let that note come through as well. And that's really the first phrase. The second phrase is almost identical to that. We've got the scale run again, and then the only difference is on that last chord I'm just playing a C without the G in the bass, so we've kind of root positioned C major chord. Then we've just got a little 4-note connecting run. It's a G, open G, and then F, E, D. And we repeat the main melody, but this time it's all quite heavily palm muted. So you're going to want to get your picking hand down just by the bridge of your guitar. Maybe pick a little bit harder to make these notes pop out. And really you're just playing the same melody but with heavy palm muting. So Then we're on into the next section, a kind of B section, I suppose. And for this, we seem to be modulating to a couple of other key centers. The rhythm guitar for this part of the song, we've got F sharp minor to B and then to E. So it's like a 2-5-1 in the key of E here. And then we modulate again, we're going E minor, A, D, which is a 2-5-1 in the key of D, and then we're back. We've got a G, which takes us back home to C. Now, over all of that, the lead guitar is doing this great kind of arpeggio lick, and we're starting off with this. It's like a F sharp minor 7 arpeggio, I think. So we've got 4th fret on the D, 2nd fret on the G and B, 5th fret on the B. And then we're hitting this chord shape here, which is 6 on the D, 6 on the G, 5 on the B, 4 on the high E, which at first sight looks like a C sharp minor chord, but the bass and the rhythm guitar is actually playing an E at this point. So in fact it's kind of an E6 sound, I think, this chord. So that's that section. And the important, I think this is probably one of the trickier licks in this piece. The important thing here is you're going to need to use a kind of sweep picking technique, I think, with your picking hand to get these arpeggios sounding right. We've got a triplet, which you can pick with all downstrokes in a kind of sweeping motion of the pick. So it's all kind of one picking movement here. I'll just let the pick kind of fall through those 3 strings. And then coming up for that E note. Some more whammy bar there. Then we've got another little connecting melody. Ending with an E triad, I think. That's just the 9th fret on the D, G and B. Then we've got that other modulation to D, and we've got, this is an E minor 7 arpeggio. So E, G, B and D. Again with that sweep picking technique, so down, 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 up. And then ending up in this little shape here, which again it looks like a B minor triad, but with a D bass, it's a D6 chord. So that's 11th fret on the G, 12 on the B, 10 on the high E. And then we've got this bit here, perhaps my favourite bit in the piece actually. This is a lovely sound. Which is a kind of nice suspended chord shape. I've got 10th fret on the top 2 strings and 12th fret on the G and D. All of that played against a G bass, so it's a G sus2 sound. And we're just arpeggiating that chord shape. And then we've got to get quickly right down the other end of the fretboard for that scale run. And we're back into the main melody again. And that really is about it for the song. I think then we've got a drum break and the whole thing basically just repeats in exactly the same way. I think the only other thing to mention is just at the very end of the song there's a little ending which is so we play the melody as before, and then it's just C, C, F, F, and ending with a C a bit higher up the neck. So that's the whole thing. If anybody's interested, maybe I'll just play through all of those main bits at a slow tempo, just so you can see and hear exactly what's going on. If you want to play along with me at a slower tempo, you can do that as well. So let's start with the main theme. So 2, 3, 4, 1. Then we're into the B section, 3. Oops. And then the ending. There we go. So that's roughly how it's done. As I said, there will be full tab and music up on my website. I've also spent bloody ages making a custom backing track for this song for you to play along with, including real sleigh bells, not sampled sleigh bells. And yeah, that's available on my website too. My Christmas gift to you, dear viewers. So just remains for me to thank all of you for supporting me and this channel over the past year. Thanks to everyone who's come to see me for in-person or Skype lessons as well. Take care and have a very Merry Christmas. I'll see you in the new year. Bye-bye.